All right, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We are back with another FOMO Friday today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. Lots of alpha will be shared today. Anything that we do discuss here today is not financial advice. We are just sharing what we are doing and what we are looking in the markets right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you are liking and retweeting and commenting. We want to get as many people up here as we can. We'll be looking at the markets first, of course. We do have Bits of Wealth and NetNet with me today as well. Thank you so much, both of you, for co-hosting this with me. As always, Bits, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a fun week. It's been a profitable week. Very, very profitable week actually. But yeah, it's been a good week in the world of Bitcoin.
That is incredible. I see that you already have your chart up, so take it away and I'll go ahead
Okay.
and
Yeah, I can jump into
invite
it.
all the communities in.
All right, perfect. Let's see here. What do I have on screen? I've got Bitcoin. So yeah, look, I mean, we're coming up to the close of the month. We're what, five, well, no, like 7 hours away. So a little bit of time left here before we close this monthly candle. Um, So I think like this is where we're really going to get a lot of clarity is after that month closes. We're going to kind of lock in where we are now because right now things can change. Right, we could get a big pop right now, and then in the next 6 hours, the monthly close looks maybe different, right? Or it could dump more. So we're kind of waiting on that. Let me put up this. Let me clean this up a little bit. Hold on here. Weekly open. All right, cool. The biggest thing that I'm looking for here is we're now moving into the second month of the quarter, and this second month of the quarter, I want to see either we're going to push up further into the previous quarter range, or it's going to take some of the progress that was put in this last month back a little bit here. Again, like one of the key things that I think we have to remember is that this new quarter and even this current month, it did open with a sweep of last month. So if we go into like Bitcoin's monthly chart, July did start by sweeping the low of June. And although, we got up a little bit past like the 50% of that June candle, it's already kind of given some back here. So what I want to see is when this new monthly candle opens up, the candle for August. Can you believe it? For August, when
Hmm.
that opens up, are we going to run the high of July? Right? Is there a chance that it runs the high of July and then heads lower? Or is August going to sweep these lows, right? Does August come down and sweep July and June lows and then try and go higher? To me, it seems like it would be a more awkward move for this next candle to open first to the downside and then to try and go up. Like the structure here would look kind of funny to me. It makes a lot more sense to me, and I think it would be more reasonable that this next month opens to the top side, whether it's a fake out, right? Whether it's a fake out and it just sweeps it and then it kind of starts coming back down, or whether it actually ends up being a sustained move. This structure here is still giving me vibes that I think the next month should open higher, should open and head higher, I guess I should say. So look, I'm still leaning towards a move back up into again at least the upper 60s, but I really do think it's got an opportunity to go into the 70s, and I wouldn't even rule out that there's a move that could get really close to like the upper 70s still. So I think that's a possibility there still, and we got to let that cook though. It requires a little bit of time. Requires a little bit of time, just like if you're putting a turkey in the oven. You gotta give it its time, right? You can't rush it. With
Yep.
the weekly chart, we are now below the low of last week. We played this week. We actually played it so well. I'll give a quick review of the trades that we took here this week. So Monday, I didn't do a lot of trading. There was definitely a short opportunity this Monday, though, and some folks took it. I shared the setup, and I just simply didn't take it, Lady Trader. It came a little bit shy of where I had my order waiting, And I just,
Mhm.
I don't know why. Like that morning, I just said, nah, I'm not gonna jump in and chase it. And it would have been a beautiful trade. I mean, it would have worked out beautifully because I would have filled, somewhere up here near about 65.5 ish. And that would have given us the move all the way down here to like 63, 62. And it
Mhm.
would have been a beautiful move. So I didn't take the short. I did share it with my community though, and some of those folks did take that move. But I caught this long on this deviation below the low of last week. So I got a
Mhm.
fill right here at like 63 flat, basically. I was long from 63, and we played that all the way up till the high that we got yesterday, I believe, or whenever this high came in. When was this? Was this I think it was last night, right? This morning, last night we got
Mhm.
this high up here. So played that, and then man, then we flipped we flipped short up here. So
Mhm.
that was this has been a beautiful move, this short from I think I got it right at about like 65k, and we caught the whole short down. So beautiful move. And even between this long here at like 63 up to the 65, we caught multiple smaller scalp longs in all of this structure. So I was doing quite a bit of scalping with the crew for sure, and even in the
Mhm.
DM groups. So we scalped a lot of this long, and then we just smacked this short with size, and it just beautifully, beautifully rolled over. So right now, I'm actually kind of just idle. I don't have a strong take for what needs to happen at this point. I would say that in the remaining time that we have in the week, the 2 days and 7 hours that remain in the week, if
Mhm.
if we see Bitcoin close above the high of last week, which is that 63, like 63,100, I believe is what it is here. Yeah, 63,100. So if we see Bitcoin close above that, again, there could be an opportunity that this pops back up again. This could pop up again.
Mhm.
Could be a nice little run to the high side. But
Mhm.
I know that there's still a lot of liquidity down here below. I personally would prefer that over the next, few days and even the next week or so, I'd prefer we see a move that heads down towards like 61, maybe even 60K, 60 to 61, somewhere in there. Take some of the liquidity that's there, get some of those orders out of the game, fill what
Mhm.
needs to get filled, liquidate what needs to get liquidated, etc. And then set up from that point for a move higher. So, it could potentially look something like this, where maybe this tries to pop up but ultimately fails, and then you get a run that comes down to about there. And then if that thing can put in a bounce, if you can get a bounce from
Mhm.
a dip down into like 60, 61, then it'll be interesting, especially once we get back above 66, because then you're changing this structure then, right? Because here you have a low, lower high, lower low, right? So you got downtrending structure. Then you'd be
Mhm.
moving from this big low here and this high down to potentially a higher low. And then if you sweep that, now you've got a higher high. So it could be what flips the trend for us here is if in the
Mhm.
coming days we see a move down into like 60 that ends up bouncing and then heads back up. If that happens, then I do think we are back on track for like that 72, 74 type move. And hey,
Mhm.
if it ends up going past that lady trade, then it goes past that. Like if it goes 75, if it goes 80K, then so be it,
Mhm.
right? I still
Yep.
don't think the bottom is in, so I still don't think the bottom is in, but it doesn't mean that it can't run up a little bit higher before we see this roll over. So that's just my personal take on it. Could this also all completely break down and we put in a lower low that sweeps 57.7 or whatever that low is? Yeah, absolutely it can. I just am not personally leaning towards that is like what I think is going to be the most likely move. My eyes, my experience, and just my personal bias right now from my style is telling me that I need to be looking for a bounce. And so that's what I'm maybe looking for. But yeah, it likely, if the bounce comes, I think it is closer to 61, somewhere around 61K, maybe as deep as like 60K, somewhere there. And then I think we potentially can head higher. So that's what I'm looking
Mhm.
for BTC. Same thing with all the other ones. Like Ethereum is getting really, really close to the low of last week. I know people are gonna, I think, interpret this as like strength in that, oh, ETH hasn't swept that last week low. ETH is holding up. It's making equal lows or higher lows. And maybe, in my opinion, it's probably going to sweep all of this though. I mean, I would, personally, like if I want to get long, I'm looking for it to sweep and after it cleans up, then maybe I'll participate. But I think it needs to clean up to the downside. I think Ethereum needs to drop another leg, maybe two to the downside first, and then it cleans up. And I actually had a nice little bars pattern that I pulled here as like a potential of what that could look like. I think something like this potentially needs to still happen on Ethereum. So it doesn't mean it has to, but something like this to me would like make sense with the flow where, yes, you are still kind of forming a range here, but because of that, I'd like for it to sweep the low of the range and then head up and then try and break the high of the range and then give that retest for continuation. So I think ETH is probably going to be a really great play, but I think it needs to come lower first. I think we got to take some lows, got to take some liquidity. It then has to demonstrate some strength and show that it wants to get back up inside of this current range. And then it can work on heading back towards highs. And at that point, we'll be looking to see if it can finally do like an impulsive break of the top of this range. And if it does that, and if you miss all of this, if you miss the sweep lower, you miss maybe the higher low inside the range, you miss the breakout, very likely you still get a retest here, a pullback and a retest, and then you can still participate in that. So like in these markets, I'll use Bitcoin as an example because this week, that's exactly what we saw. If you were trading BTC and you missed the low on Tuesday, you missed the low on Wednesday, if you missed all of that, you missed the FOMC low before the run, if you missed all of that, there were multiple opportunities. Like, for example, if you didn't get in here, which was my original entry, you could have found a way to participate here when it was going sideways. If you missed that, you had this pullback below these lows, which we shared on stream, that you could have participated in. And so if you didn't take that, you could have also waited for a higher low and a break higher here. And then you could have entered on that pullback. Yeah, you had multiple. You could have taken that one as well. So you had multiple opportunities to take that. If you were shorting, this was the short, and it did start moving pretty quick after that high came in. This sweep was fast, and then immediately started rolling over. But if you missed this, you could have waited and tried to hit that one. If you missed that one, you could have looked here. I think there was a POC sweep of a range here that you could have taken. So there's always opportunities. It just you have to find something that's within your style, though. Like some of the stuff I wouldn't have personally played because it's not within my style, but I know that some other folks would have taken it. This one was a sweep of that smaller range to the high side. Somebody may have taken that. This here was that POC sweep. Somebody may have taken that. Some people may take the momentum play here on a confirmed breakdown. I know you play like the confirmed breakdowns as well. So, a lot of ways to play this stuff. I think it's just a matter of finding something that you like and waiting for it. Hyperliquid is the last one I'll kind of cover here because it is one of the big ones that I think a lot of people are watching. Again, like I'm still of the opinion that I think we still go lower, right? So I still think Bitcoin's going lower. I still think Ethereum's going lower. So therefore, I still think Hyperliquid's going lower. I've been waiting for this sweep of Hyperliquid for previous month low here at like 52.5. Been waiting for it for quite a while now. And it's still not ready. A lot of people, I saw some people that were already trying to long this yesterday, right? Because they were getting a little bit of green here. It hasn't swept the low of last month. I mean, why are you trying to long it when it's like a millimeter above the level that we need to see swept? Wait for the move. Wait for the move. When this move happens, it's going to be fast. It's going to be violent. It'll probably leave like a V shape or a big wick. You're going to know that that's the move to enter after it happens. You just got to wait. I think it's really easy for us to want to like front run these things. Just wait for the freaking conversation. It's like, what it reminds me of is if you're in a race and you're waiting for the flag, or you're waiting for the gunshot, or if you're drag racing, you're waiting for the light to turn green. Like if you're in a race, it doesn't matter how excited you are about the race. You got to wait for the signal. If you go first, you red light, you get disqualified. You're no longer in the race. You have to wait for the freaking signal, the flag, whatever it is, the shot, you wait for the light to go. And people that are not waiting for the light are currently getting themselves wrecked because they're trying to front run it. They're red lighting the tree. They're jumping the signal, the light, the whistle, the whatever, right? So you just got to wait for it. Just got to wait for it. But I don't think it's quite there yet. I think it needs another drop. again, I still think we still clean up to the downside, even if Bitcoin, even if everything gets a little bit of relief, the rest of today, maybe even into tomorrow. I think it's just inducing longs. Nat probably has like her order flow stuff up, but I'm pretty sure if you go to like a Market Monkey or Kiyotaka, I bet you that on this last dip here, I bet you people started flooding in long right now. I bet you there is so much long liquidity that came in here trying to long this thing, that when this thing finally comes back down, it's gonna run this. You're gonna get a fast stop run. It's gonna cascade quickly. It's gonna still go down quite a bit more if it runs that. So, because I'm pretty sure open interest had a huge spike here when that went down. And you probably saw a lot of even the volume delta probably started to pivot right around there. You just know that's how it works, right? People are number one, people are aping in short here, but then you also have people trying to catch the bottom this entire thing. So it just is what it is. So I'm sitting patient. I've played it to the upside. I played it to the downside. I'm kind of neutral before I overtrade and mess something up, essentially.
Yeah, especially with the end of month coming up, right? I have to be
Yeah,
careful.
end of month, end of like weekend. I mean, there's no point. There's no point in trying to play some big trade today. As it's low ROI in my opinion. Go touch grass. That's my take, Lady
I
Fair.
agree.
Love it, love it. Can you guys still hear me? Because I got
Yeah.
kicked out for a second for some
Oh,
reason.
did you?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm back. I think it was just my mic was disconnected or something, so I had to
Mm,
reconnect. But no, this is great bits. I was watching so the buy. I could have taken that one. I was actually
yeah.
actively watching it. Also, the short position. I didn't take it just because I was busy
Yeah.
with some of the chain analysis and looking at some of the plays that I'm interested in on the side. But yeah,
Yeah.
those two I think were very, very, very clear setups. The long
Yeah.
trade when it took the liquidity and then recovered very quickly, and then also, yep, that one,
And they
and
both
then
were
the
sweeps.
short.
They both were sweeps of like a key level, right? And I think that's why they worked out.
Yes,
This was a
yes.
sweep of last week's low. You saw the sweep right here,
Mm-hmm,
boom, sweep, and then it couldn't close below it. And then up here, you
mm-hmm,
saw the same thing, big sweep of the 50%, but couldn't
mm-hmm.
close above it. So same thing. It was
About
the
that.
exact same move on
Mm-hmm.
mirrored sides. Like it's the exact same move on both
Yep,
sides.
absolutely. Yes. And these are the kind of trades that happen, especially during the consolidation phase.
Yeah.
Um, so, no, absolutely love it. But thank you for
Yeah, of
sharing.
course.
Anything else before we bring up Nat?
No, let's pass it on to Nat. Let's see what she's got.
Nat, take it away.
Great, great stuff, Bits. I actually have my BTC chart pulled up. Let me know when you guys see it.
Yep, that's good.
All right. So earlier today on the spaces with the Wolf Crew, I was
Hmm.
kind of mentioning the challenges that BTC has, right? If we look at the chart, we are we have a lot of resistance up ahead, right? So we have 65 and then we above that we have more slightly above 67, right? It has tried multiple times to break above it, but it has just consistently met with rejection, right? So this is one thing I was mentioning on the spaces earlier. In order for us to get that move to 70, we're going to need some strength and some volume, some follow through in order to break through all of this, right? Because we've had multiple times in which it has tried and rejected, and every time we saw a move down and then retried and we got another move down. Overall, it's just been in the range, but if we want to break out of the range, we're going to need to see some strength, some volume, and some follow through. And it's not like it's going to be clear skies after that, right? Because you guys see, even after that, we do have some key areas above 70K. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out, right? But in terms of where we are right now, granted, this is a daily, we have a few hours, we have about 6 hours before the daily closes. And I think it's going to be very interesting where the daily closes, right? As you guys can see,
Yeah.
there is support like literally right at 62. If we're able to confirm confirm 62K as support. I can potentially see a bounce. But again, the problem and the issue as of right now with BTC is the amount of resistance we have up ahead within the structure, right? And can it break above? Absolutely, right. We've seen moments where BTC has come across the same similar issues, and we got what we needed in order for it to go higher. But as of right now, we're lacking some strength and we're lacking some volume. If we do start to break below this 62K, let's go 61.9, 62K, I think we go ahead and sweep the lows, right? Granted, 60K is a big area, right? But what this is telling me, the chances of us sweeping the lows is is greater, right? But it would all come
You
down
better
to
shut your
where these
mouth,
candle.
Matt. You better shut your mouth, Matt.
Doesn't mean we can't get a sweep of 60, right? Fill these candles. Doesn't
There we
mean
go.
that that can
There we
happen.
go.
Yeah.
You're all right. You're all right, Matt.
I'm all right. Thank you, Bess. Thank you, Bess.
I don't care what the guys
And
say about you. You're all right.
okay, all right. It doesn't mean that these candles can't get swept, the slight liquidity taken out and then retry, right? But again, we've seen it try multiple times, and there's only going to be so many times it rejects before we see an aggressive move to either direction. And based on the amount of rejection or based on what we're seeing now, I wouldn't rule out some kind of aggressive move to the downside if it fails to go up further. Overall, we're right in, like I mentioned earlier, right? We're right in line with what we would expect around this time during the 4-year cycle, right? I think BTC is going to give us an aggressive move, and based on the liquidity, I think it's going to be to the downside, even if we go slightly higher first. So I just wanted to show you this, what I was talking about on the spaces, because it makes it having a visual makes it a lot easier to read. But what we're going to do, we're going to go back. I'm going to switch screens. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to pull up my liquidity, because what happened, I believe, was last night, that moved to like 65-ish, slightly above. That was a liquidity sweep. It grabbed the liquidity that was up there before it continued moving to the downside. One second, let me bring that up. And it's always good to know where the orders are, where the liquidity is, so that way we can kind of get a visual. Are you guys seeing this? You guys see it?
I am adding. There you go.
It's
You're
up
there
now.
now.
Yep. I just threw it up. Yep.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So the move that we saw earlier, kind of, you see how there was a lot of orders that were sitting right here. See how we kind of just grabbed it and then went all the way down. So that tells me this was a liquidity sweep or liquidity grab, and then it went back down, right? But what's very interesting, to what I'm looking at, it did grab this liquidity level right here as well, but there is more building up to the downside. Just like last time when we covered on the stream, we have this that's double layered, right? We have 54 million at 62.2. We have another 50 million at 62.1. And then we have more double lines down here, 61 200. Let me see if I can get both. Yeah, 61 200 and 61 15. And then we have 52 million right at 61. So with all of this is telling me is, once more, and still there's interest in lower prices, but there's also this 65.5. So a little left over from that move to the upside earlier today. So what does this tell me? What do we conclude, right? BTC did a liquidity grab to grab the liquidity that was sitting on there yesterday, and we kind of just grabbed the liquidity on both sides, right? So now, depending on where the daily closes, I can see it's probably trying to do one more sweep. Remember how I mentioned when I was showing the daily chart, there is a lot of resistance up at the top. Does it mean we can't try and retest one more time? So I wouldn't rule some kind of a retest of that again. But overall, I think we go ahead and grab this. And I'm gonna switch my screen to like the spot side, because I think it's very interesting to see the orders. They haven't really changed or shifted from last time, but just as like a nice reminder as to what we're looking for or what we're expecting. There are people waiting for the move to the downside, right? There's 18.46 million sitting right at 55K, and slightly above that, there's a little bit like 6 million. But what we're seeing now, we're seeing orders piling up at below that, right? We're seeing now orders piling up at 54K, and some little bit of build up below it, right? But if we move up, there's not much to the upside, right? See, there's really not much. There was a little bit of buildup right here, 65 again. So at 65 area, 65K, 65.5 seems to be just a slight area of interest, but nothing major there on the spot side, right? So again, we have multiple factors, multiple confluence, multiple data points that's kind of telling us that there's interest in lower prices. Again, we have some buildup at 56, 55, 54, and then some slight buildup right below that, right? Overall, this is kind of just telling us, in my opinion, that the bottom is not in yet. And I know we've said this many times, but we're seeing the data, the liquidity, the resting orders, everything. There's a lot of confluences across the board that's kind of telling us, okay, if if we do get a move higher, what that says to me as far as trading, what I'll be looking for is a short entry. So if we go to your 70, if we're able to break above that massive resistance that we just showed on the chart on daily, if we're able to break through all of that with some strength, some volume, and if we do head to like that 70K area, I think for me that's going to be a beautiful short entry. Granted, we do have to wait for confirmation, because once we break above that, it can actually, I wouldn't rule out it going higher, but what I'm trying to say and what I'm getting at is moves higher based on where we see the orders, where based on where we see the liquidity, based on where big money is positioning themselves. If we do get that move higher, to me, it's gonna signal a good short entry, kind of like what we saw today, earlier today or late last night when BTC grabbed the liquidity that was sitting on the perp side at 65K and slightly higher. What happened once it did that is that we went ahead. It was a beautiful short entry, by the way. It went ahead and sold off. So I wouldn't rule out something similar like that happening, where we get, because there was some liquidity here on spot too, but it was really thin, similar to what we're seeing here. Maybe it increases, but I wouldn't rule out a scenario in which we do try 65K again and reject, and then we get a nasty move to the downside. But overall, this is kind of like my thesis, and I think it's also very interesting because we're seeing a lot of it on the timeline. But overall, I think the money, the big money, the positioning is kind of telling us what to look for. Candidates in coming into, and the other thing I wanted to mention is coming into the weekend, and we mentioned this multiple times, and we've seen it play out multiple times, right? We see how the big spot of liquidity usually gets, we usually see it on Saturday or Sundays, right? That 90 million on the perp side that we kind of look for, that kind of tends to work as a magnet. We usually see that positioning happening over the weekend, right? So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the next few days play out, being that we do have the end of week, we do have the new month, so it's going to be interesting overall, based on also where we are in the trajectory of the 4-year cycle. Uh, Lady Trade, I know you have some amazing alpha to give, but I just wanted
Hmm.
to. Can I bring up one chart on the equity side? Is that okay?
Please, absolutely, we need that. I was going to ask you
Only
anyway.
half a
Go ahead.
chart. Half a chart only.
Half a
Half a
chart.
chart. Okay, so I
Half a
won't bring
chart
up
for
the
half a
whole.
minute.
Okay, I won't. I won't go into word expansion. I
Okay.
promise.
All right. Good.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me bring up. So
We're
Microsoft
actually doing
today.
really well on time. Actually, we're doing
Yes,
really well on
we
time.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Good.
take your
Good.
time, Nat. Take your time. Pull up
Okay.
your chart and take your
All right.
time. No.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So Microsoft has been the talk of the town yesterday because of the massive earnings beats. We were able to take advantage of that dip that we saw from the highs, and we actually got in at 351. We had a beautiful entry on Microsoft 351. So from 351 to we took profit yesterday at 450. That's almost $100 move. And in the equity side, those moves are pretty big, right? So I gave the bullish take on Microsoft, but I think now Microsoft is coming up again on a very key area, right? We saw it similarly come up on this resistance line prior to the massive move down that we saw, right? So we were literally right where we are right now. Last time, this was in June, the beginning of June, prior to a nasty rejection in a move to the downside, right? So, or if we want to invalidate a move to the downside, if we want to invalidate something similar playing out, I do need to start to see closes above 466. Once we start seeing closes above 466, I think we can go a little higher, even if we come back and retest and then move. And then continue to move to 500, right? Overall, I think at some point, I know at some point Microsoft gives us a nice move to the upside. It's just a matter of, does it reject here, fill this gap, come back down, and then retest and break out? Overall, I think Microsoft is in a very, very interesting spot. A lot of people are talking about Microsoft now because it was kind of like, it's that stock that everybody didn't like, that, oh my God, it was going to go to zero. It was going to go to zero. But this is what I usually mention when it comes to the equity side and or crypto. In crypto, the difference is earnings, because earnings can tell us a lot about a company in terms of, how well they're doing. We don't have that in crypto, right? So I think that's the one of the big differences here, and where a lot of people go wrong is that they rule out earnings, and I think earnings does play a key factor in in equities. So this is what I'm looking at in on Microsoft. We need that 466 close above 466 in order to give us a push higher, or else it's we're at risk. Let's put it that way. We're at risk of something similar playing out like it did in June, where we got that nasty rejection and all the way down, right? So if we do reject here again, if the candle closes here and not higher, I could see us filling in the gap before another try. But as I always say, right, we took profits yesterday. No one ever goes broke taking profits. So make sure you take your profit and then let the chart come to you and reposition yourself there, right? One more chart I wanted to bring up, because we actually spoke about this earlier today, and this is has to do with one of the tokens too, right? BlackBerry.
Mm-hmm.
Blackberry, yeah. So this is BlackBerry stock. BlackBerry stock has been very, very interesting. This is one that we were looking at going into like the sixes, but it managed to break above this key resistance line that I was looking at, 835. We came down and retested it. So now what I'm looking at, it has a lot of work to do, right? Because we have a lot of resistance up ahead as well. But if we're able to clear 650, sorry, 948 or 950, I think it can give us a move higher. However, what I have noticed based on, experience, time in the market and all that good stuff, and on the what the chart is telling us, we have to be cautious with BlackBerry so it doesn't give us another shoulder, right? Because we have left shoulder ahead, and then we don't want to get the other shoulder, because if it does another shoulder, then we have a head and shoulder pattern. Granted, head and shoulder patterns, they only break they only play out 50% of the time. So the best case scenario for BlackBerry is a close above, a break of all of the resistance that we're seeing, right? And a close above 948, 950, and a reclaim of these key area. The main one being 1229, right? So 950, 1229, in order to invalidate any kind of head and shoulders. But overall, it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, because here's the thing with BlackBerry, the business model has changed. And I believe yesterday they came up with some, or the day before, they came out with news in terms of their technology being implemented into Microsoft, the Microsoft teaming up with them for something, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
BlackBerry, they're positioning themselves uh, as a leader again in tech, but in a different way. Many years ago, it was cell phones, but now they've moved away from cell phones, and they're using the technology for different things, right? And they actually had really good earnings and in forward guidance, right? So they expect the business to continue to grow, to continue to be profitable, right? So overall, if we're looking at the long-term trajectory for BlackBerry, I think it's definitely worth a look, at least on your watch list, because what they're doing in the business front, on the business end, and the re-strategy that they did many years ago, it seems to be working very, very well. I remember BlackBerry was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like over $100 at some point. Not saying it's gonna get there overnight, right? As you can see, short term, it's telling us it has some work to do. But in the long term, if they're able to sustain the business model and and stick to that strategy that got them this far, I think BlackBerry gives us a nice move in the long term to the upside, right? And I know Journey is very favorable on BlackBerry as well, and a few others, and it's because of the restructuring that they did many years ago, right? And re-strategizing. I think at some point, what separates some of these like dead businesses, what helps them revive over time, is the restructure and re-strategizing, repositioning themselves in modern day times. And I think BlackBerry is doing a great job at it. But as far as the chart, obviously it has some work to do in order for us to be clear from the head and shoulders. I would like to see it closes above 1240, 1248.
Mhm.
Or 1229, I'm sorry. But besides that, Lady Trader, I know you have some alpha that you want to share, and I don't want to take up too much time. So I guess I'll hand it back over to you.
No, this was great take. Thank you so much, Nat, for always bringing up equities because, yeah, I'm not actively watching equities right now since we are so busy with some of the other things. So I do appreciate you bringing that up so I don't miss out on those potential moves in the equities market. I'm going to go ahead since Bits did a really awesome market analysis on BTC, and then Nat also did the same thing. And so I'm just going to dive right into the alpha and on a few different chains that we're going to be looking at. So first, we are going to start with Robinhood Chain. Robinhood Chain is still pretty new, right? It launched in June, and here we are in July, super early. And when I first found out about Robinhood Chain and I was looking for plays there, I repeatedly said that this is not a chain for um, meme coins like cats and dogs. This is going to be, you should be looking for other things. Like you should be looking for meme stock type plays, things that are tied to Robinhood community. Because when those traders join in, they're going to be looking for certain different tickers, and cats and dogs are not going to be it because they already got into the main dog, right? They all know about Dogecoin, they are in it. So look for those kind of plays that are non cat and dog related. Like I've said it, even though we were able to catch some of the early dogs on it, right, which is great. We were early, but you want to be really, you want to have a good strategy, right? And Robinhood Chain, I will tell you, has been the easiest one so far to trade, to find good plays, to really make money on, in my experience. Of course, people have different strategies, and but my strategy has been pretty on point so far because I was looking for game stock type plays, meme stock type plays, right? Those sort of things. And so what we're looking for is GME, AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry. Those are the four main plays. But then anything else that is Wall Street bets related, you want to be looking into that as well. And that strategy has been absolutely phenomenal. So as you remember, we had the very first GME and AMC token. So we had, I'm going to actually start bringing that up. So we had the OG GME. This was the very first ticker of GameStop token or GameStop token. And we were actually able to get into this one. We got in around 700K, and we did catch this move to the upside, which was pretty significant. So almost 10x off of that. We were mostly interested in AMC because we knew once you have GME that's going to run, the next thing naturally that happens is people start looking for the next play, which is going to be AMC. And so we were very interested in AMC. We got into it at around 10 to 11K market cap, right? So super early, right? Somewhere around here. And we did catch this move to the upside. A lot of people did de-risk. Some people are still holding. So this is still a pretty good ticker in my opinion. So I am definitely holding my position. I bought some more during this crash. So I want to bring up something that happened that was very interesting. So we only had the OG GME, right? It was doing good, and then all of a sudden we had this particular one developer, banker developer, or BNKR developer, deployer launched a GME token tied to, guess what? GME stock, right? Paired with GME stock. This was incredible because this falls with the narrative of what Robinhood is trying to build, right? Which is they've very clearly said this is a chain for memes, but also RWAs. And this is where they intersect, right? You have the meme plus the RWA side of things because now you're pairing it with the stock, right? This one, the liquidity is paired to the actual GME stock, which means every time you buy GME token on chain, you are literally causing buy pressure on GME stock, right? So that is pretty incredible. It's a great opportunity on both sides, right? You are helping the stock, you're helping that community, and also that community is getting in super early, like 9 mil market cap. So when this was happening, my strategy was to wait, right? So when I saw this happening, it's like everybody was going absolutely crazy. They were chasing these candles. It's like, oh my God, this is it. This is gonna go to 100 million here very soon. I better buy. And I was not interested in catching when the price is like this. I'm not gonna be catching these green moves. I'm gonna be like, okay, let's wait what happens. We're gonna buy on a pullback. It's gonna be a nice confirmed entry. We will have enough time to see what's actually happening. Is it being accepted into the markets? Is there a sentiment around it? Is that going to still be a good opportunity after a few days? Well, it got completely crushed. And then I did say in my Telegram community that I will be buying, I'm very interested in buying this between 2 and 4 mil market cap. And it did give me those entries. And I did post it when I started building my position. My first position was actually around here. And I said, I'm building a strategic position in this play because I do feel it's going to do well long term. Why? Because it is paired with the stock. It's one of a kind. It could be a first mover. And then when I saw this, of course, started really heavily positioning myself here while it's still leaving some liquidity in case we come down to 1 to 2 mil market cap. That would have been absolutely phenomenal. So we'll see how this plays out because we just hit a major level at 10 mil, right? That's the psychological number. We need to stay above it to be able to go to the next level and all of that. But a lot of times, it will have a nice little rejection at 10 mil market cap. So we'll just see. My concern with this, why I am not too keen on taking profits aggressively right now, is because it's going to take one little candle from Binance to send it. And Binance has actually talked about it. So Binance recently created a section on their wallet. I haven't personally tested it on my Binance wallet. I don't use Binance wallet, but I've seen a lot of tweets around it. You can search for yourself, do your own research on this. That's your homework. But Binance talked about these stock paired memes, and GME was one of them. Mars was another one. Mars is already sitting at about 40 mil market cap. And so they are actively looking at these plays now. So I am thinking at some point this play could do well, right? Not financial advice. I am personally bullish on this. I'm personally buying this. We'll see where this ends up. So that's the GME. The next one that usually when GME does well is going to be AMC. Now, here's a very, very interesting thing about AMC. There is no tokenized AMC on chain, which means it cannot be PVP'd with a stock pair token for AMC. Now, could there be other creative things? Yes, absolutely. There was one token that tried to pair it with GME, and they were lying to the community that, hey, it's paired with AMC token, which it was not. That was inaccurate, and it got rugged or close to getting rugged, got crushed pretty badly. So this is the OG AMC, and this is the one that I'm in as well, and holding a position in it, and we'll see where this one goes. So I'm thinking that if GME continues to run, I think this could be the next play that we should be looking at. Remember what I mentioned during our last FOMO Friday, that I held AMC on Solana for a very long time. It was close to being rugged, sitting at around, between 50 to 100K, somewhere around that number. I had a pretty nice size position in it that I was building because I liked the ticker. I knew at some point it's going to run. I don't know if it's going to take a year, 6 months, I don't know, but it will run at some point when the meme stocks is the narrative. And it happened. It hit 30 mil market cap very quickly within a matter of 2 days, right from 100K. So this one, I think, is a reasonable risk for me to have a strategic position in it and have a nice strategy around that. So I am in this AMC. It does have, I know the socials were pretty active right now. The guy who was handling the socials is away for personal reasons. He should be back by Monday, I've been told. So we'll see what happens. But this has a community. It has a Telegram community that you're welcome to join. And some of us OG holders are supporting it, and we are going to continue to support it. So we'll see what this one does. Not financial advice. I personally like this one. And so we'll see what happens here. It also had a really nice daily close yesterday. When I saw this one, I was like, this is interesting. And so we'll see if we can make a move to the upside here, maybe even have a new all-time high soon, right? So that's going to be the goal. We'll see where it goes. But AMC, this is not your typical cat and dog. You got to be patient with some of these plays. I am being personally very patient with these. And so we'll see how this one plays out. So that's the Robinhood, right? We are looking at that. Another one that I'm very interested in is this one, COH, Coinbase on Hood. And we got into this one pretty early as well. I think under 40K, if I'm not mistaken. We did catch this move. I did say that we're going to be coming back down to this area, and it did, and it also gave us a 2x bounce off of this. So we'll see how this one plays out. Again, this is paired with coin. And the good thing about this one is actually these guys the dev was pretty incredible. He built this technology before we had some of the other markets that came out where you actually get tokens or you get the underlying equity as a reward. So if I'm holding COH token, I'm actually getting coin stock on chain in my wallet, which is pretty incredible. So they built this technology first, and then other people, of course, copied them. And some other launchpads started to integrate that technology as well. But they were the first ones to build this tech, and I think that was pretty phenomenal. We'll see though. Like this has come down quite a bit. I recommend that for my community, I'm just saying, hey, let's watch how this one plays out. We'll have to see some major moves on this one, right? So you want to get above this level, potentially retest and hold, and then we could see some potential moves there. And then it's also tied with some of the other things like GME. It needs to get at least a Binance listing or a major listing before we start to see some of these other plays to do well. There's another one that I am very interested in. This is Netflix and Chill, which is paired with Netflix stock. So this is also it's at a very good price point right now, 22K, right? Which means that $22 can get you 0.1% supply, $220 gets you 1% of the supply. And so this is pretty good. I have a position in it. Again, not financial advice. These are very, very, very risky plays. So be cautious with them. But personally, I have a position in this one. We'll see where it goes. It may or may not work out. I'm also very interested in commodity plays. There was actually one yesterday that I was watching, and I got into it with a small foot soldier because it was up pretty high already. It was on Binance. I need to bring those up, and I'll do that here in a few minutes. But there are some pretty awesome plays like that. So I'm looking for a play potentially that could be a for commodities, right? So oil paired with gold. Like those are the tokens that I am interested in. Let me bring up the one that I was looking at. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And I'll also share with you what I ended up doing with this because it did not do exactly what I was wanting. So golden age, this was one. 4-hour chart. When I saw this one, I started, on this pullback, I got in a little bit, and then I knew that my stop point is going to be somewhere around this. So if the 4-hour candle I start to see breaking this level, I'm going to get out, and I'm going to see how it does, because a lot of these plays on Binance, they also hit 2 mil and then they rug. So it was a bit risky, but I did get into this one. It is paired with gold, so it's a pretty incredible narrative. Now, whether they run it or not, that's a totally different story. And so I did end up getting out for this particular one. And when I started to see price coming down, I'm like, nah, I'll see how this one plays out. So I'm still watching to see what happens, right? Is it gonna find a bottom somewhere? Or is it done? So I'm keeping an eye on this one very closely. As you know, Mars coin I was talking about, this one did pretty incredible because Binance, I think it already got listed on Binance Alpha, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really keeping an eye on too many plays on Robinhood chain, or I'm sorry, on Binance chain right now, because there are so many other chains. But this is one that I saw Binance talking about, and so this is definitely doing well. But we'll be watching for some more good narratives there. I'm interested in a commodity play. I think we do need a good, solid commodity play. So that's on the Binance chain. Another thing I want to bring up before I pivot to other chains, Crypto Paradise is launching Seal token on Robinhood chain. I am extremely interested in this one. I am very bullish on this one. And why? Because this is actually by these two founders who are fully doxxed. They do a lot of live streams. And this is going to be a really nice lifestyle token plus a DAO. So it gives you access to a DAO. You need to hold 200K tokens. And when you have those tokens, you can join the DAO, and you also qualify for free trips and free stays at their headquarters in Tulum, Mexico, which is where they are headquartered in. They are out of they are the team is from the US, but they are right now positioned in Tulum, Mexico, where they are running this resort, which is pretty phenomenal. I think they are incredible people. We do need a lot of teams that I'm seeing on Robinhood chain. They're not doxxed. And so I think these guys definitely have an opportunity where I think they could really do well. And so I will say, definitely keeping an eye on this particular play as they launch Seal token on Tuesday, which is pretty incredible. And so I am excited for this. And they are onboarding some really solid influencers as well, good influencers, not like the ones that are not very good, but actually community focused people, really, really awesome people. And so I'm excited, bullish on these two guys. I think this is going to be a runner. Again, not financial advice. Personally, I'm bullish on it. And they had a token previously on Pulse Chain, which I did not buy. It was a fair launch. I was not bullish on Pulse Chain. I hated that chain. I did not support that token. I did not bring it to my community because I did not see value in it. I knew Pulse was going to be dead, but it did 300x on Pulse chain, on a dead chain during a dead market. So that was pretty incredible. And so I'm hoping that these guys can do phenomenal on Robinhood chain, which is very much alive. And we need good teams on Robinhood chain. So we'll see how that one works out. So super excited for these guys. All the best to you, Crypto Paradise team. I hope you do phenomenal on Tuesday. We'll be watching about what's happening that day. So we'll be bullish on that. Okay, now going back to other chains, two more chains to cover. I'm going to go through them very quickly. First of all, we're going to talk about stable chain. We have two major plays there, Pfeffer, which I did say I'll be accumulating quite a bit here. We have a few whales in my community who own more than 1% supply of Pfeffer, which is pretty interesting. We'll see how that one plays out. I know a lot of you are accumulating it. I did mention when I was going to be buying, right? So I have accumulated quite a bit of supply of Pfeffer as well. This is a token that Stable Chain has tweeted about. So this is their first meme coin. So that's the fundamentals, right? If you have a chain that tells you this is our first meme coin, I'm going to buy it. It's a reasonable risk to me. Whether it's going to work out or not, time will tell, right? But hey, if a chain is officially supporting them, I am in. So this is one major play. The other one that I'm seeing is Stable. This one also was tweeted about by the CEO of Tether, and we'll have to see how this one plays out. But I have a position in it. and I bought more when it dipped. So we'll see how, like, these two are the major plays. There are quite a few others that I am interested in, right? This one, Stable Guy, Monkey, $1. I mean, come on. I'm not going to buy $1 on this chain. That's just silly, right? You have to have that. So I'm looking into these. You can bridge pretty easily on stable chain to get into some of these plays early. Remember, this is the tail end of the bear market coming up in October. We only have a few more months to go, guys. Very few days. It's what, 2.5 months now remaining into the bear market. This is when the opportunities are going to present themselves. This is when there's going to be good times when we can accumulate when the markets are bad. One thing that I have not seen any KOL or anybody talk about, which I did talk about it earlier today on Wolf Spaces, is that stable chain is USDT, right? That's what it is. That's what where you are pairing the tokens with. You're pairing the tokens with USDT. Now on other chains, Ethereum, Solana, blah, 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 what happens? You are pairing those tokens with Ethereum, you're pairing those tokens with Solana. Very rarely are you launching a token that is paired with stablecoin. When you are pairing something with a stablecoin, bear market impact should be minimum, right? Because it's not Ethereum that's going to lose 50% of its value, or Solana that's all of a sudden crashing down. So this is going to be more organic bear market play, right? Where you may see some pullbacks because there's fear in the market, but it's not going to be because of the underlying asset that it's paired with. So something to keep in mind. Stable chain, I am liking it. These two plays, I am liking. We'll see what happens. We'll check it in the next few days and see where we are at, right? And over the next few months. So that's stable chain, bullish on it overall. We'll see where it goes. The other one that is coming up is ARC. We have a few first movers already. ARC chain is one of those chains that they had a developer only access, and some people figured out how to bridge. I did recommend my community to wait until good sources have official channels out for bridging, right? Of course, I'm not going to follow that because I can take a little bit of risk here and there. So I ended up doing that. I did bridge using a very, like, what looked like a very shady website. I'm like, all right, burner wallet, what's the issue? Test it out. I tested it out, not something I recommend anyone do. And with burner wallets, burner laptops, all of that stuff, and I was able to bridge successfully. So once I bridged successfully, I bridged more, and then I bridged more, and I bought some of these first plays. This is their first token that was launched 50 days ago. I have a position in this one. I'm interested in buying more. So we'll see how this one plays out. There are quite a few other ones as well. Their second play was this one, Noah. Interested in this one as well. Bought some already. When the main net is live for everyone, then I'll be watching and seeing, how the price action plays out in this one. But I'm positioning myself in some of these original OG plays. We'll see how this one works out. Right now, the RPC is down, so you can't really do anything on this chain right now. I think you're still able to sell, but I'm done buying and selling. I already have a position. I'm just gonna see how this one plays out. So these are the two main ones. There was another one called Architects, which was doing pretty good as well. Let's see if I can still find it. This one. So we have it's sitting at about 1.5 mil right now. So we'll see how these play out over the next few days. Once Arc Chain is actually live. Arc Chain is by USDC Circle team, so please be mindful of that. So this is actually really good as well because we will have another USDC stablecoin that would basically be very similar to what I was talking about on stable chain, right? Stable coins, pretty good for bear market. So that's what I'm excited about. I think there's definitely something there. But yeah, we'll be catching some good plays as soon as this chain goes live. But yeah, hopefully that's enough alpha for everybody. If you're not in my Telegram group, which is free to join, please send me a DM and I'll make sure that you get added so you don't miss any of this alpha. What I want to do really is keep an eye on these new chains, and then hopefully we can get into some of these really early plays and benefit from those first movers, right? That's going to be the case. There's a lot of other chains coming up. I believe Bybit is going to launch a chain as well. And so we are keeping an eye on all of that development as it happens, and hopefully we'll be one of the first folks who are going to adopt these new chains. So yeah, super excited for what's happening. Really busy with the research and everything, but I think it's going to be worth it. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Like I said, I'm not going to go over BTC today. I think we got enough BTC alpha from Bits and Nat. But yeah, that is all. Nat is asking, are you still in Bang? Yes, I do have a position in that. I think it's a good ticker. And so hopefully in the long run, it does well. I am in some other Wall Street bets type play as well. So we'll see what happens. Electric Cowboy, why is there's only 20K liquidity on AMC? I think 20K is pretty good, isn't it? Like if you're sitting at 60K and market cap or 70K market cap, the liquidity to market cap ratio is not too bad. If I wanted to lose money on coin, I'll just buy coin. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I mean, tokenized stock meta is just something that I think community is excited about. Again, every meta has its days where, things get picked up, they do really well. And then also you have to know when to take your profit. So that is going to be very important when we have good runs. But yeah, I'm currently enjoying all the plays that I'm in. GME especially, I think is going to do incredible. But we'll see what happens. That's really all I had. My goodness, there's a lot of information to cover. Anything else that you want to add? Ned, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I was actually laughing when you mentioned the shady platform that you use to bridge over. I think it's great that you mentioned it, right? That way the community knows it's still high risk.
Oh yeah, very high risk, very, very high risk, which is why, like I said, um, be mindful of the risk. There are definitely some risks involved with these early plays. You have to be cautious. You can't, like there's always going to be time that when you can position yourself and, there's going to be time, official time when the chain allows you to bridge through good means, right? So you're looking at maybe Basebot or Relay.link, those sort of platforms that are reputable, that have done good for you previously already. So you want to be looking for those reputable platforms and not just give your money to any shady platform. I had a lot of actually people who were reaching out to me about it, and they were like, "Hey, Ra, how do we get into this? Like, I want to bridge." And there were a lot of people who had bridges too that they had built, and they were telling you, hey, the moment the RPC is live, all of your funds are going to be bridged over. You're going to be the first one. So go ahead, deposit your money. It's like, really, guys, you want to deposit your money and give your hard-earned money to somebody just because you think you're going to be able to catch a move that everybody else is, catching, or they're going to catch, and you're going to miss out on it somehow? Because you can always buy a pullback. There's always opportunities in the market. So when you miss out on something, there's always going to be the next play. I miss out on plays all the time, and I'm okay with it because there's always plays that I'm gonna catch. We did 400x for my community when Robinhood Chain went live. We caught all of the first runners on it. So things happen. You just have to be patient. You have to look for good narratives, and you'll be okay. The one that I used was Dior Swaps ARC. It was DYOR. Let me actually get the actual link for that one as well, just so you know which one I used. DiorSwap.org, and it was their Twitter actually listed a new website for bridging. So you see where I'm coming from, right? You have a Dior Swap, which is not like the best looking website. And then they announce it on their Twitter, another website, and they say, go there and bridge, people. I mean, the first thing that's going to happen is a major red flag is going to go up. Like, why are they tweeting about another website? Why didn't they integrate it into their current website? That means their account could have been hacked. So I did a lot of research. I waited for hours to see what other people were talking about. And then you still cannot be sure. But then I tried, I was like, okay, burn a wallet, burn a laptop, let's go, let's test it out. So I tested with a very small amount. It was like less than $50 just to see what happens, right? If I'm going to donate, I'm not going to donate too much. I'm going to donate a small amount if I'm going to get hacked or rugged. And then, it bridged successfully. I was able to swap successfully. I was like, all right, that's great. Then I bridged quite a bit more. And then I moved that money into another wallet right away because, you never know what could happen there. But I think they had built something. It still looked shady. I was not too confident to just recommend it to everybody, but it worked. So we'll be waiting to see when the official chain is, the official bridge is alive, and hopefully we'll find some good place there. We'll see what Circle supports. We'll keep an eye on it. There's gonna be runners. There's gonna be some major runners, and I think we will be able to catch them as well. So yeah, that is all. Bits, anything you want to say? Any final thoughts or comments before we end?
No, great stream, great alpha, and go touch grass this weekend, guys. I think it's really easy to get super tied to this stuff, especially after a week like this week, where if if you were tapped in, I mean, it was just kind of pulling you in all directions. We had longs, we had shorts, we had news that was coming out. You had all kinds of stuff. So it's like sometimes just go enjoy the weekends. This stuff's all going to be back here Monday, and then we can hit next week strong, rested, clear mind, etc.
Yes, absolutely. And please like and retweet the post. Make sure it's recorded so people can go ahead and watch it again if they need to, because there was some really awesome alpha that was shared here.
But if everything runs this weekend, Lady Trader, what if everything just runs and we have like altcoin weekend season and all that? Then, if you touch grass, have fun staying poor, I guess,
That's the thing too, right? So
take your laptop with you to the grass.
Yes. No, I did not touch grass last weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna touch much grass this weekend either. We'll see. But I mean, it's important to take breaks. It's just that I become a little bit too enthusiastic towards the end of the bear market, because I have seen repeatedly I've seen those. So I don't want to miss out on those opportunities. And again, if I see huge green candle, something already sitting at 5 mil, it's already made its run. I'm not interested in it until it has a pullback. And so, it's not like I'm going to chase those green candles, but sure, we'll find some pretty awesome opportunities. All right. Net, any final thoughts or comments from you, my friend, before we end?
No, this was a great stream, I think. And we were talking about this yesterday as well on one of my other spaces. During the end of the bear cycle, there are many opportunities. You just have to be in the know and know how to position yourself accordingly, right? Because not only are the opportunities going to be in memes, right? But I think at some point we're going to see massive opportunities within NFTs, and we're seeing some of it now. So just something to keep in the back of our mind that I'm pretty sure at some point we'll be discussing those as well.
Yes, absolutely. And when you talk about opportunities, I was looking at a few things that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon over the next few weeks. And that is going to be a major alpha for next FOMO Friday. I am excited to share that with everybody. I think there's going to be some multi-billion market cap runners that we will be catching. Watch us, guys. It's going to be happening. But yeah, there's going to be some pretty awesome alpha next week. I'm not ready to share it yet. I think I might share it in Telegram community first, just because I want these people to be positioned really well. So we'll be sharing some secrets in that channel to make sure everybody knows what I'm looking at, and then we'll share it publicly at a later date. So I'm excited for that. I was looking at it yesterday and I was like, whoa, opportunity. This is what we're going to be doing. And so, yeah, there are some pretty awesome place. Just watch us, guys. This is the place. And yeah, you'll see.
I do have one question for you. Have you been dabbling into the NFT space on Robinhood chain? Because some of the floors are starting to go crazy. There's one that obviously, right, it's all risky. Same with memes, no one to take profit, no one to sell it. But some of the NFTs are popping off. They're up. The floor is up like 600 or 500%. Not sure if you've been able to get some of those.
Yes, I unfortunately did miss out on the NFTs on Robinhood. There was one called Stonk Broker or something like that. I need to go check the name of that one. It did incredible. I had my plate full with all of the alpha we were getting on the token side, so we missed out on some of the NFTs. But Ethereum is gonna get crushed, right? We are not at the end of the bear market yet. We have more downside. So there is going to be opportunities there. At least we will know which ones are established connection or collections. And then I'll definitely be positioning myself into some of those. So yeah, missed out on it initially, but hopefully we'll catch some. But yeah, you're right. So many great plays in the NFT, and it makes me happy because you do need NFT markets to come back. Hopefully, this bull run we do see an NFT run. I would love to see that. I know NFT community is hungry and thirsty for this gain, so let's get them this bull market, this next bull market that's starting at the end of the year, this year. We are very, very close, guys. Very close. Nat, can you believe
Exciting
it? It's only
times
what?
ahead.
Yeah, it's like October, next October, like this coming
Yeah.
October. We could be seeing a bottom in the first couple of weeks of October. Can you believe that?
Came
I
fast,
mean,
to be honest.
yeah.
Time
I
just
mean,
flew
how many
by.
months do we
Yeah.
have? 2 months? A little over 2 months? What the heck? Where did the time go, guys? This is crazy. All right. Well, that is all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back again next week with another FOMO Friday. We'll have some great alpha there. Thank you. Have a good weekend. And thanks to Bits and Nat for co hosting it with me. Have a great day, guys.